In 2018, Floyd Mayweather flaunted cash to hype Centratech, a cryptocurrency that imploded in a $32 million fraud. By 2022, its founders were jailed, and Mayweather paid a $614,000 fine for promoting the scam. But the storm was just beginning. Once untouchable, private jets, mansions, million-dollar cars, the self-proclaimed TBE, the best ever, now faces a $402 million financial fiasco. Though no bankruptcy's been filed and Mayweather denies distress, insiders warn his empire may be crumbling. So what went wrong? We investigate how a boxing billionaire became a cautionary tale of fame, greed, and untouchable wealth. Floyd Mayweather didn't just box. He built a financial empire that redefined what an athlete could achieve. Over $1.1 billion in career earnings placed him among the highest-paid athletes in history. His boxing purses alone brought in nearly $300 million, with record-breaking paydays like $250 million from the Pacquiao fight and $300 million from the McGregor one. But his real genius was turning those winnings into a brand that sold not just his fights, but his entire lifestyle. The money persona became his business model. He didn't just win fights, he marketed invincibility, both in the ring and in his bank account. His social media is a curated spectacle of wealth, a $60 million private jet, an $18 million watch collection, and a garage filled with Rolls-Royces and Ferraris. These weren't just possessions, they were props in a larger narrative. The stacks of cash in Instagram posts weren't just for show. They were part of the brand, a constant reminder of his supposed financial dominance. Behind the scenes, Mayweather's business moves seemed just as bold. He launched Mayweather Promotions in 2007, giving him control over his fights and a cut of other boxers' earnings. He invested in real estate, including a $25.5 million Beverly Hills mansion and a $10 million Las Vegas estate with a 20-car underground garage. He dabbled in side ventures like an adult club, a roller skating rink, and even a NASCAR team. On paper, it looked like a diversified empire, but cracks began to show. That $18 million watch collection? Headlines loved it, but so did stories of unpaid tax bills. The private jet and car fleet? Luxurious, but luxury assets can be leased or financed. Even his real estate investments raised eyebrows, like the Beverly Hills mansion he listed for $48 million, which sat unsold for years. The IRS filed a $22.2 million lien against him in 2015, allegedly pushing him out of retirement for the McGregor fight. Lavish spending clashed with financial controversies, from unpaid jewelry debts to legal disputes over exhibition payouts. Mayweather's true skill wasn't just making money, it was selling the illusion of endless wealth. But as the lawsuits and debts piled up, the foundation of his empire looked increasingly shaky. The brand glittered, but the reality was far more fragile. Yet, even as Mayweather's brand dazzled the world, not everything was as it seemed. Behind the curtain of luxury, a new chapter was unfolding, one that would test the very foundation of his financial empire, starting with his most ambitious real estate claim. In February 2025, Floyd Mayweather made headlines by announcing a $402 million deal to purchase 62 apartment buildings in New York City. He called it the Black Spruce Portfolio, part of what he claimed was a massive real estate empire. On The Tonight Show, he told Jimmy Fallon he owned upwards of 100 buildings or more. I think 99% of my buildings are in New York City. The problem? Property records didn't back up his claims. Business insiders investigated and found no evidence the transaction had gone through. New York City's property records showed no change in ownership for the buildings Mayweather said he bought. The NYC Housing Partnership, which works with many affordable housing properties, said they hadn't been informed of any sale. In New York's ultra-competitive real estate market, where even minor transactions leave a trail, the absence of documentation raised eyebrows. Experts noted that while high-net-worth buyers often use shell companies to obscure deals, the transfers still appear in public records, just under different names. And Mayweather never provided those names. 50 Cent quickly seized on the inconsistencies, mocking Mayweather on social media and amplifying doubts about his financial claims. For someone whose brand was built on flaunting wealth, the lack of verifiable proof became a glaring issue. The Black Spruce deal, which Mayweather's team claimed included 62 Upper Manhattan buildings, became a focal point. Journalists couldn't confirm the purchase, and some experts speculated he might have bought a minority stake or an option to invest rather than full ownership. Such arrangements are common in real estate, but don't align with Mayweather's public image of total control. The contradictions extended beyond real estate. Mayweather's tax liens, unpaid debts, and legal troubles painted a picture of someone whose financial reality didn't match his flashy persona. Even properties he did confirm, like his $25.5 million Beverly Hills mansion, came with complications. That house sat on the market for years, listed at nearly double its purchase price, a move that real estate moguls rarely make. The Black Spruce deal was supposed to cement Mayweather's status as a serious investor. Instead, it became a symbol of his credibility problem, exposing the gap between his claims and the hard evidence. In a market as transparent as New York's, missing documentation is like playing a casino game where the odds are hidden. Trust erodes quickly. As doubts swirled around his property empire, Mayweather's next move would take him far from the world of bricks and mortar, into the volatile, unregulated realm of cryptocurrency, where the risks would prove even greater. In 2017, Floyd Mayweather entered the cryptocurrency world with the same swagger he brought to the boxing ring. He posted a now infamous tweet that read, "You can call me Floyd Crypto Mayweather from now on," alongside a photo of himself holding stacks of cash. The tweet promoted Centra Tech, a startup claiming to offer cryptocurrency debit cards. With nearly 8 million Twitter followers, Mayweather's endorsement gave the company instant credibility. What he didn't disclose was that he'd been paid $300,000 to promote Centra's initial coin offering, ICO, a detail that would later lead to serious legal trouble. Centra Tech quickly raised over $25 million from investors, promising revolutionary financial products like a debit card that could convert cryptocurrency into spendable cash. They claimed partnerships with major credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard, but these claims unraveled under scrutiny. Investigators discovered the partnerships were fabricated, and the company's supposed cutting-edge technology was non-existent. The SEC described Centra's founders as having created fake executives, fake business partnerships, and fake licenses to deceive investors. The SEC took action against Mayweather in 2018 for failing to disclose his financial ties to Centra Tech. By making his endorsement appear unbiased, he misled investors. Mayweather wasn't alone. DJ Khaled also promoted Centra Tech's ICO without revealing his $50,000 payment. Both settled with the SEC, with Mayweather paying $614,775 in penalties and forfeiting the $300,000 he earned. He was also banned from promoting securities for 3 years. Centra Tech's founders faced harsher consequences. Sohrab Sharma, Robert Farkas, and Raymond Trapani were convicted of fraud, with Sharma receiving an 8-year prison sentence. The U.S. Marshals seized 100,000 Ether from Centra, later sold for $33.4 million to compensate scammed investors. The case highlighted how celebrity endorsements could mislead inexperienced investors, prompting the SEC to issue warnings about trusting financial advice from social media stars. Mayweather's involvement didn't end there. He also promoted another ICO, Hubi Network, though it didn't lead to legal trouble. Still, the crypto scandal tarnished his reputation. Fans and investors began questioning his judgment, and the money persona that once symbolized success now hinted at recklessness. But the fallout from the crypto scandal was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Even as Mayweather faced public scrutiny, a more formidable adversary was waiting in the wings, one that no amount of bravado could silence: the IRS. In 2015, the IRS revealed a serious crack in his financial armor. The notice filed in Nevada showed he owed taxes from 2010 through 2012, years when he'd earned some of his biggest boxing payouts. The IRS had been trying to collect since 2013, with Mayweather reportedly making partial payments but never clearing the full debt. This massive liability forced him to confront a harsh reality. Even boxing's highest earner couldn't escape the consequences of financial mismanagement. One could say the tax debt directly influenced his career decisions. The Conor McGregor fight earned him a guaranteed $100 million up front, with total earnings reaching $275 million after pay-per-view shares. While Mayweather called it easy money, the timing told a different story. He had retired after the Pacquiao fight in 2015, insisting he was done with boxing. Yet 2 years later, facing a 9-figure tax bill, he was back in the ring. The McGregor fight money solved his immediate IRS problems, but exposed a deeper issue. Mayweather's spending far outpaced even his massive earnings. His $25 million Beverly Hills mansion came with $289,000 in annual property taxes. His car collection, including a $4.8 million Bugatti Veyron, required millions in maintenance. These luxuries weren't just symbols of wealth. They became financial anchors. The McGregor payday cleared his tax debt, but didn't address the underlying pattern of overspending. The tax issues also highlighted how much of his wealth depended on active boxing. Without regular fights, his cash flow dried up quickly. His businesses, promotions, real estate, endorsements brought in money, but not at the level of his fight purses. Instead of scaling back spending like most retired athletes, Mayweather kept living as if he were still generating 9-figure paydays. The IRS liens were just the tip of the iceberg, revealing hidden liabilities beneath his public persona. Ultimately, the $22.2 million lien shattered the illusion of invincibility Mayweather had built around his money brand. It exposed a pattern of financial mismanagement that would resurface in unpaid bills, failed investments, and questionable ventures, reshaping his career and legacy. While Mayweather scrambled to settle his debts at home, his troubles were about to go global. The next controversy would unfold thousands of miles away, in a city where financial missteps can have swift and serious consequences. In 2022, reports surfaced that Floyd Mayweather had been detained in Dubai over unpaid luxury purchases. While never officially confirmed, multiple sources claimed local authorities briefly held him during a shopping spree, where he allegedly failed to settle a $1.4 million bill for a diamond necklace from luxury jeweler Pristine. According to insiders, Mayweather selected several pieces during a VIP appointment but didn't complete payment, prompting the shop to file a complaint with Dubai police. This wasn't an isolated incident. In 2019, an LA jeweler sued him for $680,000 in unpaid custom pieces, a case he settled out of court. These disputes raised questions about his financial liquidity, especially given his public image of immense wealth. Mayweather's team denied the Dubai incident, calling it fake news. However, the timing was notable. Reports emerged shortly after he was seen flaunting expensive new jewelry during a Dubai trip, with his Instagram showcasing diamond-encrusted watches and chains. If true, it suggested he was displaying items he hadn't fully paid for, behavior that aligned with past allegations. These jewelry disputes highlighted a deeper issue: the gap between Mayweather's image and financial reality. Someone with hundreds of millions in accessible cash wouldn't face repeated payment conflicts over luxury items. The $1.4 million necklace represented less than 0.5% of his reported net worth, making the alleged non-payment puzzling, like a sports car running out of gas despite its sleek exterior. It raised doubts about whether his wealth was as liquid as he claimed. Dubai's strict financial laws added weight to the rumors. Mayweather frequently visited the city for high-stakes gambling and owned property there, but local authorities are less forgiving of financial lapses than handlers in the US. The incident, though unconfirmed, fit a pattern of financial friction beneath his money persona. Yet, even as rumors swirled overseas, Mayweather's strategy for staying afloat took a new turn. He returned to the ring, not for glory, but for quick cash, setting the stage for a series of exhibition fights that would spark even more controversy. Floyd Mayweather's exhibition fights after retirement should have been victory laps. Instead, they became a series of financial disputes that tarnished his reputation. The most publicized conflict came after his 2021 fight against YouTube star Logan Paul. While Mayweather reportedly earned $50 million for the spectacle, Paul claimed he was still owed $3 million. "He hasn't paid me in full. We're taking it to court," Paul stated bluntly. Mayweather dismissed the claim, citing delays in pay-per-view revenue processing, a common industry explanation, but one that critics found unconvincing. This dispute, combined with similar complaints from other opponents, painted a troubling picture of financial mismanagement. The Paul fight also highlighted a shift in Mayweather's priorities. Paul, a social media star with no professional boxing wins, earned $20 million guaranteed, double Mayweather's reported $10 million up front. For an undefeated champion, this arrangement was unprecedented and suggested Mayweather was prioritizing quick paydays over maintaining his financial dominance. Joe Rogan captured the growing criticism, saying Mayweather had become obsessed with showing off wealth at the expense of his legacy. Industry veterans echoed this sentiment, noting that while exhibition fights have always existed, Mayweather's felt unusually transactional, with opponents chosen for their social media clout rather than boxing credibility. The financial structure of these exhibitions only deepened the controversy. Unlike traditional fights with fixed purses, Mayweather's deals often relied on complex back-end agreements tied to pay-per-view sales and sponsorships. Opponents accepted smaller upfront payments, expecting larger sums later, payments that sometimes faced lengthy delays or never materialized. For a man who built his brand on flaunting wealth, these disputes were glaring. Critics argued that Mayweather's money persona now felt hollow, as even $50 million paydays couldn't silence questions about his integrity. Mayweather's exhibition phase revealed a stark contrast to his peak years. The same man who once headlined superfights with Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez was now facing YouTubers and MMA fighters past their prime. While the exhibitions likely earned him over $200 million, they came at the cost of his credibility. Each delayed payment and unfavorable revenue split, chipped away at the image he had spent decades building. But the drama didn't end with the final bell. As the dust settled from his exhibition bouts, Mayweather's most audacious financial claim was about to face its toughest test yet: a $402 million real estate deal that would put his credibility on the line. The lack of documentation within Floyd's $402 million black spruce portfolio raised immediate red flags. Real estate experts noted that deals of this magnitude always leave a paper trail: mortgage filings, title transfers, tax records, but none existed. When pressed, Mayweather's representatives, including James McNair, insisted the deal was real but refused to provide proof. The inconsistencies fueled public skepticism, amplified by 50 Cent's Instagram post, "Damn champ, they caught you capping," alongside a video titled "Stephen A. Smith exposes Floyd Mayweather for going bankrupt after $42 million scam." The jab underscored how Mayweather's financial claims were increasingly under scrutiny. The black spruce portfolio, comprising hundreds of units, showed no recent sales matching his description. Mayweather's team attempted damage control by scheduling a presentation at the NYC Real Estate Forum in 2025. Billed as a real estate powerhouse, he offered no new evidence, reinforcing doubts. Experts noted that serious investors typically welcome scrutiny, using documentation to validate their credibility. The absence of proof mirrored past controversies, including his cryptocurrency promotions and unpaid taxes, further eroding trust in his financial claims. With each new revelation, the gap between Mayweather's image and reality has grown. However, as stated earlier, no bankruptcy has been filed, and Mayweather continues to deny distress. One can only speculate with the evidence we have been able to gather. Floyd Mayweather's story reveals the danger of confusing performance with reality. His social media flexes the money myth, but financial disputes told another story. That $402 million real estate verdict exposed questionable deals and shattered the illusion of invincibility he spent years crafting. The tax lines and unpaid debts showed that wealth displayed isn't always wealth secured. Even boxing's richest earner couldn't outrun financial reality. So is Mayweather a money genius or just a master of selling the image? I mean, he is the self-proclaimed TBE, the best ever. For more deep dives into the fascinating lives of the rich, famous, and infamous, click on the next video here. See you on the other one.